Have you ever wanted to level up the way in which you research? Well, this video is kindly sponsored by ResearchFlow AI. Stick around to see how this world-class AI research tool can change the way in which you learn, research, and retain information. More on that later in the video. Harvard's selection process isn't random. It follows a very clear structure, and by the end of this video, you will have inside knowledge that you can use to your advantage. When it comes to getting into a school like Harvard, most students assume that it's about perfect grades, insane test scores, and a long list of extracurriculars. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? After a major lawsuit exposed Harvard's secret selection criteria, we now know exactly how they rate, rank, and ultimately select their students. And most applicants are focusing on the wrong things. In this video, I'm breaking down Harvard's entire selection process from the application rating system to the interview scoring criteria, and most importantly, the exact strategies that you can use to maximize your chances of getting in. And to make sure you're fully prepared to get into Harvard, I've linked all my best free resources in the description, including my 10-page Ivy League interview guide and my personal statement that got me into Harvard on a full ride scholarship. Also, before we dive into today's video, if you want free one-on-one college admission support with myself, be sure to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and fill out my website form, because I select one new student every single week to help them reach their college dreams for free. Let's get started. In Harvard's selection process, step 1 is the recruitment phase, where Harvard is actively looking to try and find you first. Most people assume that Harvard just sits back and waits for the applications to roll in. Wrong. Harvard actually starts scouting for potential students years before they apply. Here's how it works. Harvard buys student data from standardized testing companies, and every year they purchase test scores and contact info for over 100,000 students who hit certain academic benchmarks. They then flood these students with recruitment emails, glossy booklets, and invitations to admissions events. If you've ever received an email from Harvard saying they'd love to see you apply, that's why they're doing it. Then admissions officers hit the road. Harvard representatives travel to over 130 different cities across all 50 states to give talks, meet students, and build connections with high-achieving students. They also specifically target underrepresented students through the Harvard Financial Aid Initiative and the Undergraduate Minority Recruitment Program, so that they could reach out to low-income and minority students and even invite some of them to stay overnight in Harvard dorms. But here's the thing. Just because Harvard reaches out to you doesn't mean that you're gonna get in. Nor does it mean anything if they don't reach out to you. This is just step 1 in a massive selection process, and if Harvard doesn't reach out to you, don't stress about it, because it's not like they can reach out to every single student in the country or in the world. They're just doing it as kind of a blitz approach to try and get some of the students to apply. Step 2 is surprisingly the interview. Once you've submitted your application to Harvard, some of the students will get invited to an alumni interview. In some aspects, this interview is a casual chat, but the interviewer themselves also has to rate you based on Harvard's rating scale. When coming into this interview, the Harvard alumni that's interviewing you has never seen your application before. They're only given your name, your high school, your email, and your phone number. That's it. And during the interview, they're trained to assess you on 6 key categories. The first one is openness to new ideas, which is kind of like, are you curious and willing to challenge your own thinking? The second category is potential to contribute to college life, which is are you going to be someone who adds value to the Harvard student body? The third category is what kind of roommate you're going to be, like will you be someone that others want to live with? Category number 4 is extracurricular passions. So are you someone who's deeply involved in their extracurriculars or just at a surface level? Number 5 is your love for learning, which is do you genuinely love learning or do you just chase grades and titles? And number 6 is intellectual curiosity and originality. Do you have a unique way of thinking? That's kind of what they're going to be testing there. After the interview, the alumni will write a detailed report summarizing their thoughts and giving you a numerical score from 1, which is like the most outstanding person they've ever seen, to 4, which means you're weak. If you want to absolutely crush your Ivy League interview, again, I've created a free 10-page Ivy League interview guide that you can check out in the description. But before we continue, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, ResearchFlow AI. Have you ever been working on a research paper and struggled to find great articles to dive into and to reference correctly? Well, ResearchFlow AI is a groundbreaking AI research engine that empowers you to dive deep, connect ideas, and amplify your research. Just through typing in your research questions such as, what is the impact of climate change on coral reef biodiversity, you can get a ton of high quality articles that really help you to write a paper that's gonna stand out from the rest of your class. The AI has a mind map function description that outlays all of the key points to understand the research question, and the information is reliable because it searches over 200 million academic papers to help you find the best answers. Also, instead of dealing with research jargon, the AI puts everything into layman's terms, and the mind maps are a game changer for enhancing your learning and understanding of a topic. And the best part is, ResearchFlow AI has a free version that you can trial using my link at the top of the description. If you're serious about thriving in high school or college, then ResearchFlow AI is the tool that's going to help you to level up your grades and save you countless hours. Now back to the video. Step number 3 is Harvard actually reads and evaluates your application. Once all the applications are in, Harvard admissions officers start reading, and this is where the real selection process happens. Harvard assigns each applicant a regional admissions officer who reads every application assigned for their area. Each application is scored on 6 key selection criteria, and you're rated on a scale of 1 being the best through to 6 being the worst. The 6 selection criteria are the following. Number 1 is academic strength, number 2 is extracurriculars, number 3 is athletic ability, 4 is personal qualities, 5 is recommendation letters, and 6 is your interview performance with the alumni that you interviewed with. Now, I want to preface, you don't have to be exceptional in all of these categories. It's kind of the aggregate across all of them. Like if you're not athletically gifted, that is fine. Now let's talk about the scoring. If you score a 1 in any of these categories, you're basically guaranteed a spot in Harvard. But don't get your hopes up because less than 0.5% of applicants get this kind of score. This is really reserved for the students who are doing international science or math Olympiads and are winning them, students who are doing groundbreaking research with published work, or elite athletes that are competing at the national or even world level. For most admitted students, the goal is to get a score of 2, which is a lot more realistic. And only 4% of applicants get this, but if you can get it, you have a 65% chance of being admitted. The students who kind of get this score tend to revolve around the following key things. They've started a non-for-profit or business that is successful and has clear impact metrics. They ranked highly in national academic competitions. They were the class president or held multiple student leadership positions, or they were varsity athletes or team captains. As you can see from this scoring system, Harvard doesn't really want well-rounded students. They want students who go deep on a single passion and become elite at it. And if you want help building a standout profile, I did make a free 1-hour mastery course that you can check out in the description, and that'll help you to become that elite student. Step 4 in the admissions process is the committee actually votes, and this is where the decisions are made. After a first round of readings, the best applications go to committee voting, and each application is reviewed by 2 committees. The first is a regional subcommittee of 5 to 8 people where they discuss applicants from a specific area. Then there's the full admissions committee of over 40 readers where they make the final decision on whether or not you get in. And here's the crazy part. Harvard can change its mind anytime throughout this selection process. They can revisit, reconsider, and even reverse decisions up until the very last day. But when it comes to the voting process, the general principle is if they receive enough yes votes, they're in, and if they don't receive enough yes votes, they're out. And step 5 is the final decision and acceptance letters. Generally, in mid-December, early action applicants receive their results, and regular decision applicants find out in late March. At this point, there's nothing really left you can do other than just wait. But here's the key takeaway from this video. Now that you understand the Harvard admissions process and Ivy League admissions process at large, you can tailor your application to maximize your chances. So with that in mind, here's exactly what you should do to stand out in 2025 in the Harvard admissions process. The first step is to go deep into one passion. Instead of spreading yourself thin, become exceptional in one key area. The next thing is to develop strong personal qualities. Harvard wants students who are charismatic, driven, and impactful, and the interview is going to be the place where you can demonstrate that. And then the third key thing is to crush your interview. This is where you can stand out because so many students are nervous. So be engaging, curious, and passionate, and make sure you've done your preparation using the documents in the description. And as we close out this video, if you need free one-on-one college admissions support from myself, fill out my website form and make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and be sure to comment any questions about this process that you have in the description. Good luck.